This is grade 6, the ratio unit, lesson 5, solving problems by finding equivalent ratios. In this lesson, we're going to look at keywords such as total, altogether, together, to use our tape diagrams to continue our problem solving. Example 1. A county superintendent of highways is interested in the numbers of different types of vehicles that regularly travel within his county. In the month of August, a total of 192 registrations were purchased for passenger cars and pickup trucks at the local Department of Motor Vehicles. Well, we can see that we have the word a total of 192 registrations. That is important. That is given information given to us, and we need that information to be able to problem solve. The DMV reported that in the month of August, for every 5 passenger cars registered, there were 7 pickup trucks registered. There's our ratio language. For every 5 passenger cars registered, there were 7 pickup trucks registered. There's our ratio right there. We'll need that to problem solve also. How many of each type of vehicle were registered in the county in the month of August? That is the question we'll be answering. Part A, using the information in the problem, write 4 different ratios and describe the meaning of each. Well, we have cars to trucks, and we had ratio of 5 to 7. We also have trucks to cars. And we had 7 trucks to 5 cars. It wants us to describe the meaning of each of these. We're taking part, the car part, comparing it to the truck part of the registered vehicles. We call these part-to-part ratios. Part to part, that is the meaning of those ratios. We also can compare the cars to the total number. So we have 5. Total number of vehicles would be 5 plus 7 is 12. Okay, and we can also compare our trucks to our total. So we had 7 trucks. In our ratio is 7 plus 5 is 12, so 7 to 12. Well, the meaning of this is we're taking a part of the total number of vehicles and we're comparing it to the total. So we call that a part to whole. Part to total or part to whole. That's the meaning of those ratios. Part B, make a tape diagram that represents the quantities and the part-to-part ratios that you wrote. Well, we had cars. Here's our parts-to-part right there. So we had cars, and we're going to let 5 pieces in our tape diagram because we had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 total parts there. And our trucks, we'll let T represent trucks here. And I need 7 pieces for that. And we want to make equal size pieces as close as possible. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 equal parts there. So there's our tape diagram that represents our ratios, cars to trucks, 5 to 7. Part C says, how many equal size parts does the tape diagram consist of? Well, we had 5 parts for cars, 7 parts for trucks, so we had a total of 12 equal size parts in our tape diagram. Part D, what total quantity does the tape diagram represent? Well, we can go back to our problem here, and we had a total of 192. We had a total of 192 vehicles that were registered. So the total quantity is 192. Part E, what value does each individual part of the tape diagram represent? Well, we had 192 was our total vehicles registered. We had 12 equal size parts, so we can divide to find out the value of each of them. And when we divide out, we get a total of 16 So each part represents 16. So in our tape diagram, each part that we have here is equal to 16. If one part is worth 16, remember they're equal sized parts. So each part in our tape diagram has a value of 16. So each of those represents a value of 16 vehicles. Part F, how many of each type of vehicle were registered in August? Well, that was the question that they asked us to solve. And so we had cars. Remember, there were 5 equal-sized parts. Each part had a value of 16. So 5 times 16 gives us 80 passenger cars registered for the month of August. Trucks, there were 7 equal-sized parts for trucks. Each one of those has a value of 16. So multiplying that out, we get a total of 112 total pickup trucks registered for the month of August. And there we have just solved the question, the problem, using a tape diagram to help us solve that.